Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
And we have cold air on the way. We're going to see Arctic air bringing us freezing temperatures in some places tomorrow morning. I'll show you who's under a freeze warning.
Let's look at the stocks on the rebound. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 960 points right now in the hopes of tariff deals, but the political fallout is just heating up.
Plus, funding for the future. Wake County Schools will meet and discuss how to spend its district's budget, how you can take part.
So you probably noticed the cooler temperatures out there today, certainly. And tonight, our temperature really takes a plunge. Good afternoon to you on this Tuesday. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is on the WRAL weather patio with a look at tonight's freeze warning. Elizabeth, freeze in April.
Yes, and it's not unusual. As a matter of fact, today is our average last freeze of the season. So it's pretty typical for us to see these cold temperatures this late in the year. Our freeze warning covers almost the entire viewing area. Hope County, Cumberland County, and Sampson County are not in it. But the farther north you go, the colder it will be. Some temperatures in the upper 20s to right around freezing. And then we're looking at probably mid 30s around the Triangle area and farther south. We take a look at some of those potential temperatures. 30 in Roxborough, 29 in Roanoke Rapids, 32 in South Hill, but 34 in Durham and Raleigh, and around 40 degrees in Fayetteville. If you are in town, you're probably not going to have a lot of problems with your backyard garden, but definitely farmers, strawberry farmers, peach farmers are going to be out doing their magic to keep the frost and freeze from affecting those strawberries and peaches and fruit trees. It is beautiful out here on the patio. It feels refreshing after yesterday's front. The pollen numbers are down, the humidity is down. It's 59 degrees, so it feels comfortable. Our dew point's way down at 39. Hour by hour, we're just going to top out right around 60, so not much warmer than we are right now. And then temperatures take the plunge. By 10 o'clock, we're in the 40s, and of course, we'll wake up in the morning to temperatures in the 30s. Our next weather maker after that is a chance for rain as we get into the weekend. I'll show you when to expect that coming up.
And right now, I want to give you this live look at stocks. It spent some time in the four-digit territory already today. Dow Jones Industrial Average is still hanging around that 900 mark. Doing very well, especially considering what's happened Monday and the end of last week. Look at all that green territory all morning long. The NASDAQ is up almost 400. S&P 500 up over 100 right now. And from Wall Street, we take you to Main Street, where nerves are on edge as President Donald Trump's tariffs continue to send markets around the world spiraling. This morning, markets calmed. However, the political turmoil is now heating up. NBC's Peter Alexander explains even CEOs are lobbying for relief.
With President Trump's next round of escalatory tariffs set to go into effect at midnight, the president insists that despite rattled markets and recession fears, he's not considering hitting the pause button.
We're not looking at that.
After the president initially said every country has called to negotiate.
And we give you this live look at North Hills right now, noontime, and blue skies are trying to get through there. The sun's getting through. We know that. Still partly cloudy out there as you watch WRAL News. Available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
The Federal Aviation Administration is trying to determine what caused a small jet to skid off a runway in Oregon and land right in the water. 5 people, including the pilot, were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The plane was cleared for approach using radio signals to guide its landing. The airport did not have a staffed control tower at that hour, so controllers located elsewhere called the airport to see if that plane landed. And 3 people are recovering after a train plowed right into a tractor trailer in Minnesota. Investigators say the accident could have been much worse. Dash cam video shows the trucker attempting to turn into a business. The truck was split in half by a Canadian Pacific train that was unable to stop in time. You just saw it there. 2 people on the train and the 24-year-old truck driver were treated at the scene for minor injuries. No word on any charges.
Trump administration has canceled a $35 million federal grant program that helps communities in Napa County, California, to reduce the threat from wildfires. Since 2015, there have been 26 wildfires in Napa County. Farmers and other officials say getting rid of the program puts lives and property at risk. County officials say the cuts also take away reimbursements the county relies on for spending for projects, some of which are already underway.
One thing's for sure, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Fires are a constant reality and a threat that we have to live with here in Napa County. If we don't get ahead of that early with prevention, then you know the consequence.
In a statement, Federal Emergency Management Agency called the program wasteful and ineffective.
Cleanup is underway in New York after a large boulder plowed right into a building. Take a look at this. Fire officials say a mudslide from recent rain in that area caused the road to partially collapse. The boulder slipped off the front of the face of the ridge and smashed into a family-owned business that has been in operation since 1953. No one was hurt, but the building will need to be demolished. A 74-year-old woman who vanished after a casino trip in Michigan has been found alive. Police say the woman survived days of freezing temperatures after her SUV caught fire. They launched an aerial search using a drone, which located her in the woods about 150 yards from her vehicle. Officers believe that she was driving home when she got lost on a private road. The woman told police that the SUV erupted in flames, but she tried to return to get her phone but got lost, so she decided to seek shelter under a tree.
It's that time of year when things start to turn more green for all of us all around here. And did you know the lightning can help make that happen? Meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us and explains how lightning strikes can act like a fertilizer for your lawn.
Now, obviously, you know that this time of year we start to see things greening up, but the lightning can actually accelerate that, especially early in the season. Now, before we can even get to that, we're going to take you back to elementary school, that long fancy word, photosynthesis, right? You guys know that you need increased sunlight, you need some rain in order for the grass to green up a little bit. But in order to understand how the lightning plays a role, you got to understand what our atmosphere is made out of. 78% of it is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen. So lightning obviously has a lot of energy to it. When it strikes, it actually splits nitrogen molecules. Those nitrogen molecules then interact with the oxygen, which forms nitrates that act as a natural fertilizer. So when the rain falls, it takes that nitrate down into the soil and makes things a little bit greener out there, at least early in the season.
Think about it. My lawn did look greener this morning.
Professor Michaels dropping some chemistry on us right there.
It's cool.
He was worried about making that explanation, able to digest for folks. I think
I understood.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
I give him an A+ on it right there, and we can't wait. Greener grass on the way, especially with that rain. Elizabeth Gardner is outside just to make sure things are getting greener, Elizabeth.
Yeah, Chris is the best, isn't he? He's amazing. Talk about green grass. Man, it looks absolutely gorgeous behind me. The two things happened after last night's front came through. One, obviously our temperatures cooled down, our humidity dropped, and the pollen count has come down too. So it's a really nice time to be out here. There are a lot of people wandering around the gardens. Most of the azaleas are in bloom. Now, there are a lot of different varieties, so they do bloom at different times. So you still have, probably easily 2 more weeks to get out and enjoy some of the beautiful blooms. But it feels so wonderful out here right now. Our temperature currently 59. Our dew point's way down at 39. It was pretty hot and humid over the weekend, and of course that is all gone. It's 52 in Roxborough, 59 in Durham, 62 in Fayetteville, 59 degrees in Goldsboro right now. And of course we have cold temperatures coming our way, but it feels very comfortable right now. I mean, it's not shorts and t-shirts weather, but it feels refreshing. 55 in Holly Springs, 55 in Apex, 59 Morrisville, 55 degrees in Garner. But of course we do have colder air on the way. We've had sort of a reinforcing shot of some cool air come in. And so our temperatures right now are anywhere from 12 to almost 20 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Now tomorrow afternoon we won't see a big drop, but we'll definitely feel it overnight tonight. This afternoon, 61 in Raleigh, 60 in Durham, and 66 in Fayetteville. Yesterday our temperatures, like I said, were 10 to 15 to 20 degrees warmer than we are right now. I remember I mentioned that our pollen count has dropped, and so we're looking at moderate tree pollen for today, but it is likely to be high again for tomorrow and Thursday. So that makes today an extra special day to be outside for allergy sufferers. And all that rain yesterday really washed away some of that obnoxious yellow pine pollen. Okay, tonight, 30 in Roxborough, 32 in Clarksville, and up in South Hill, 31 in Roanoke Rapids, 33 in Lewisburg and in Rocky Mount, 34 in the Triangle. We head farther to the south, 34 in Smithfield and Sanford, and then Fayetteville and Rayford, Clinton, closer to 40 degrees. So we're not worried too much down to the south. And as a matter of fact, with temperatures, say Sanford, Raleigh, Durham at 34, that's not going to be a problem for your backyard garden, but But in some of the outlying areas, or of course, the farther north you go up toward the Virginia line, that's where I feel like farmers are really going to be paying close attention tonight. They have a lot of different ways to protect crops. One, you can spray water on them. Of course, you can run giant fans. And so things will be okay. You know, it is almost time for the strawberries to come out, and I cannot wait. I bet some of them are out already. But this is a look at where our main frost freeze threat again is Sanford to Raleigh to Smithfield to Wilson to, and north of that. But you really have to see temperatures dropping into the upper 20s for several hours for it to kill or damage the plant. So for the most part, we'll be okay. But I know, again, like I said, the farmers are going to be watching closely. Tomorrow 60, and then we're 71 on Thursday, but we'll see increasing clouds. And Friday looks like a fairly wet day for us. That'll be our next big weather maker, and I'll walk you through it and show you how much more rain we could see then coming up.
Time is 12:19 in the WRAL Live Center. A bit of tug of war still going on between President Trump's administration and the U.S. Supreme Court. It looks like the Supreme Court is halting a judge's order to reinstate federal probationary workers. You may recall that the Trump administration had essentially let go thousands of employees in different agencies, but now a judge previously had kind of put a halt on that for the time being, saying that the Trump administration had to rehire these employees. But now, again, with this new update, within the past 10 minutes, the Supreme Court is saying that that previous judge's order has been halted, which means that the Trump administration can continue the firing of federal employees.
All right, thank you, Chris. A rise in sexual assaults. Investigators across Wake County are bringing attention to an alarming trend this afternoon at 4. What's being done to prevent sexual assaults?
Well, it's a 20-year-old cold case, nearly 2 decades after a Durham County woman was stabbed to death after coming home from church. Her family is keeping the search for her killer alive. Where the investigation stands, coming up at 5.
The U.S. Postal Service is delivering changes which could impact when your packages arrive. The Delivering for America plan comes as President Trump calls for the service to be merged into the Commerce Department. An analysis by the Postal Regulatory Commission revealed that at least half the zip codes in America will receive slower and downgraded mail service under the plan developed by Louis DeJoy. He stepped down as Postmaster General last month. And Google is rolling out a new feature that can alert you to scam calls in real time. The Pixel Watch 2 and the Pixel Watch 3 can now give you an alert if paired with Pixel 9 series phones. If you take a call on your watch and it appears to be a scam conversation, Pixel Watch alerts will tell you that it's a scam mid-call when it receives a Bluetooth signal from your Pixel 9 Plus.
With the fluctuating stock market and uncertainty surrounding tariffs, you may be trying to save even a little more than usual right now. But if you're in the market for certain items, especially for spring cleaning and outdoor essentials, 5 on Your Side has you covered. Keely Arthur shares the best buys to save on this April.
All year long, Consumer Reports tracks the prices of its top tested products. Here are the ones that are on deep discount this April.
This is the first full month of spring. So the offers we tend to see really center around getting ready for the warmer weather and spring cleaning.
Looking for a new lawnmower? Save about $1,000 on this top-rated 42-inch Ego Electric zero-turn mower at Amazon and Acme Tools. It's quiet, easy to steer, and performed well in CR's tests. If you're in the mood for indoor spring cleaning, several retailers, including Amazon and Walmart, have deals on this wet-dry vacuum mop combo from Bissell. In CR's tests, this vacuum is best at dry pickup and removing stains from flooring. Tackling tough carpets? Well, this Shark carpet cleaner is a great choice, and it's on sale at stores including Amazon and Best Buy. It scored excellent for drying and very good for both cleaning and convenience. And once all of your hard work is done, consider bringing over your friends and family and heating up this Napoleon small gas grill. Consumer Reports says it's sturdy and preheats quickly. It's on sale at Apt Electronics and Wayfair right now. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
The Broadway hit Hamilton is returning to the Durham Performing Arts Center next year. This is video from a performance during the 2018-19 season. Hamilton tells the story of founding father Alexander Hamilton. The show is part of 5 in a series dubbed WRAL's Greatest Hits of Broadway at DPAC. Hamilton takes the stage May 20th through June 14th of 2026, and tickets to each show go on sale very soon this spring.
Coming up, panic buying. The ongoing trade war prompts concerns of supply shortages. Why experts say there's no need to stock up on groceries.
Bigger jackpots, better odds. How changes to Mega Millions could pay off. And here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers for you this noon. We'll be right back.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
A ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs could be coming soon to North Carolina government agencies. The State House of Representatives plans to vote on the Republican-backed ban later today. It's expected to pass the GOP-controlled chamber, but not without opposition from Democrats. WRAL state government reporter Will Doran joins us now live from the state legislature. And Will, give us a sense of what you're expecting from the session that's happening later today.
Yes, this is just one of many anti-DEI bills that are making their way through the legislature here this session, and tensions are already running high. Last session, when lawmakers were debating a similar bill, there was an instance where a white Republican lawmaker questioned whether one of his black Democratic colleagues had only gotten into Harvard because of his race. This year, supporters of this bill say it's needed to fight wokeism in state government and anti-white discrimination. Opponents say that it is too antagonistic to the state's minority population.
And beyond the broad debates over DEI, what exactly would this bill do if it would to become law?
So this bill would apply to state government agencies and ban racial quotas or policies in hiring decisions. It would also ban DEI trainings for HR in state government. And those trainings have been the source of a lot of complaints from state workers to state lawmakers. Republicans say that it has gone too far and needs to be shut down.
And how would the ban be enforced? Could we see state workers going to jail if they're accused of having those DEI policies?
Originally, that had been the plan. Lawmakers had proposed a criminal penalty for violations of this bill, but they took that language out after facing criticism over that. Now, this new version of the bill would say that violations could be met with firing, losing your job, and a fine of potentially several $1,000s.
And this is one of many bills that the legislature is seeking to crack down on DEI, correct?
Yes, this would apply to state agencies like the Highway Patrol, DHHS. There are other separate bills that we've also been covering. Those would apply to public schools, to public universities. We've seen that this is clearly a top priority for GOP leadership this year.
All right, Will Doran live for us this afternoon. Thanks, Will. And for more coverage on today's vote on the DEI ban, head to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com later today.
A bill that would close some loopholes in the state's foster care system passed its first hurdle today, clearing the State House Health Committee. It would allow the state health secretary to review child welfare cases and force a county director to fix the problems. It also removes the requirement for parents to pay child support to the state when their child is in the custody of county social services. That can be a barrier for reunifying families. The bill could also be on the House floor by later this week. This is all happening 2 months after WRAL's documentary, Broken Foster Care in North Carolina. In the documentary, we expose major problems in the system. The QR code you're seeing there on the screen will take you right to the documentary. You can also go to WRAL.com to find it.
President Donald Trump's tariffs are raising concerns about what impact it could have on the price of groceries. On average, Americans spend roughly 13% of their income on groceries. And the question now on some people's minds is whether they should start stocking up on grocery items. But some experts say there's no need to panic buy. Instead, focus on strategically budgeting to help you prepare if anything does happen.
You might be eating out every day, spending $12 a day or $15 a day for lunch. And maybe it's time to brown bag it. And maybe it's time you take a look at all those subscriptions and cut back on some of them, especially the ones that you're not really using anyway. And then you're going to have to think about things like being smart with the bare basics of personal finances. And I'm talking budgeting, saving, managing credit and debt.
In addition, some experts say that if you know that there's something that you're going to rely on, buy a little bit more of it. But again, don't panic buy. They say your money is better spent in an emergency fund and reassessing the family budget to make sure your dollars are being used effectively.
Let's take a look at stocks this noon. The Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, we checked this about a half hour ago, and it was just under 1,000, and now it is just under 700. So it's a midday correction here as we look at the Dow Jones. But also correcting is NASDAQ, because that was over 400. It is now just a little bit over 200. It's at 222 up right now. And S&P 500, that is also, it was over 100. It's just under 100 at 90 right now. Still all in positive territory. Starting with tonight's drawing, it'll cost more to play Mega Millions, but you'll also have a slightly better chance of winning a prize. WRAL's Laura Levine tells us about the changes that are now in place.
We could see more winners and bigger jackpots in the Mega Millions drawing because player odds will get slightly better, but it quite literally will come at a cost. Starting today, tickets will go from $2 to $5 a ticket. Now, lottery officials expect that jump to increase revenue from the twice weekly game. This enables them to improve the odds of winning the jackpot from 1 in 303 million to 1 in 290 million. Although it is a steep increase, the North Carolina Education Lottery tells us the grand prize is also expected to grow more quickly. The lottery expects the average jackpot will be more than $800 million, much higher than the current $450 million average.
The excitement certainly builds, as you would expect, when jackpots are bigger, when there's more excitement surrounding them. And we see the numbers and money raised for education in North Carolina follow that level of excitement. So they rise together, essentially.
So this is the second time Mega Millions ticket prices have increased. The last time was back in 2017 when it went from $1 to $2 a ticket. You can catch the drawings every Tuesday and Friday nights right here on WRAL right before our 11 p.m. newscast. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Cary.
Today, we'll get an update on the school resource officer and traffic control officer agreement at Cumberland County Schools. Fayetteville City Council, Cumberland County Commissioners, the Sheriff's Office, and the Board of Education will all attend today's meeting. It's at 2 p.m. in the Tony Rand Student Center at Fayetteville Technical Community College, and public seating is available.
If you get the late night munchies, you are not alone, but there is a reason for it. What dietitians are saying is behind the habit and how you can kick it.
And get ready for the return of GalaxyCon at the Raleigh Convention Center. We'll talk to the founder and highlight everything you do not want to miss when the show comes to town this summer. And our team is working to bring you exclusive stories for coverage you'll find only on WRAL. Visit WRAL.com and search only. A federal judge in Texas overturned a controversial Biden administration rule that would have required nursing homes to meet a minimum staffing number. Nursing home operators and their trade associations objected to the rule, saying they are already struggling to fill positions. The court noted that deficiencies at nursing homes need a response, but that it must be consistent with statuses established by Congress. And Nebraska's governor wants the USDA to remove soda and energy drinks from the eligible purchase list for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The proposed change will not affect SNAP eligibility. The head of Nebraska's Health and Human Services Department says the long-term effects of caffeine on children can include type 2 diabetes, tooth decay, and heart disease.
A lot of people struggle with late night cravings. Experts say you might not be eating enough during the day. The occasional midnight snack is okay, but you should be careful not to make it a habit. Registered dietitians stress the importance of not skipping meals. You should also include a protein source with each meal to help you feel fuller for longer. Another key to curbing late night cravings is to stop eating about 3 hours before you go to bed.
You can have reflux because if you are eating and the food is still in your stomach and you're going to bed, you could end up having reflux heartburn. The other thing is the studies do show that you're at higher risk for getting diabetes if you eat majority of your calories at the end of the day because your body's not burning them off.
And if your sweet tooth is what's getting the best of you, just try reaching for some healthier options to satisfy your cravings. I'm guilty here of that.
Yeah, same. All right, well, Festival of Fandom GalaxyCon is returning to Raleigh with an added attraction. Coming up, we'll share a big announcement after the break.
And diamond in the rough, a vivid blue 10-carat diamond hits the auction block next month. Look at that. The backstory on this fascinating stone.
Beautiful look from our WRAL studio tower cam there. A couple clouds in the sky, but plenty of blue skies out there. And it's feeling nice. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner on the WRAL weather patio. You don't have the jacket on anymore, but you do have the long sleeves. It's a little cool out today.
It is, in the sun without a breeze, it feels really comfortable. It's definitely not shorts and t-shirts weather, but this is a little bit of a sweater, and so it is pretty comfortable out here right now, as long as you're not in the breeze. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel, all looking gorgeous. We're seeing a few clouds out there right now, but we don't have any rain in our forecast until Thursday night or Friday. So just feeling comfortable. It feels refreshing out here, actually. Our pollen count is down, our humidity is way down, and the temperatures just feel comfortable. We've had sort of one extra push of some cooler air. You can see the beginning of the loop there. That front sort of washes out over us. The high pressure system sort of starting to come into view, rotating clockwise, pushing that cool air in. So we get that blast just straight out of Canada. And of course, that's going to bring us the chilly temperatures for this evening. 30 degrees by tomorrow morning. So this is going to be our temperature at around 7 a.m. 32 in South Hill, 29 in Roanoke Rapids, 33 in Lewisburg. So definitely this is going to have farmers on edge with temperatures this close to freezing. But like I mentioned earlier, if you just have a backyard garden and our temperature won't get any lower than 34, you should be just fine. Our temperature would have to get into the upper 20s for about 3 hours to actually damage any plants. And of course, that gets less and less likely as you head farther to the south. But our freeze warning does go all the way down. It covers almost the entire viewing area, everybody except for Hope County, Cumberland County, and Sampson County. So just be cognizant of that. Our next weather maker comes in Thursday night into Friday. It will be a bit of a weaker system than we saw yesterday. It won't rain as long, it won't rain as heavy, and our chances for severe weather are likely to be a little lower. Could be a little bit of hail with this, could be some strong gusty blustery winds. This is a look at the timeline from our long range models, and at 8 p.m. you can start to see some of that rain moving in on Thursday. It looks like it rains for much of the night and into the day on Friday. But by tomorrow we start to get a look at the short range high resolution models, and they're much better at giving us more precise timelines for these storms. So we'll take a closer look at that as we get into the day tomorrow so that you can help plan out. I mean, if it lasts into Friday night, it could have an impact on your weekend plans. How much rain will we see out of this? Probably going to be somewhere between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch as compared to what we saw last night, which was more like 1 inch to 2 inches. So again, not as much moisture with that system. But here's a look at the timeline. Into the late afternoon, just a 20% chance on Thursday. Thursday night, 50, 60 during the day Friday, and then Friday night about a 30% chance, and maybe a lingering sprinkle into the day on Saturday. The temperatures over the weekend will be cool, very similar to today, 62 on Saturday and slightly warmer Sunday at 67. And if you really had your heart set on some of that warmer weather, hey, it's in the 7-day forecast too. By Monday, we're back to 82 degrees.
And with Easter approaching, families large and small will be gathering to celebrate. And while the festivities are meant to be welcoming, getting people with different opinions together around one table can be a recipe for conflict, especially if certain topics are brought up. Sean Langill explains what steps you can take to help everyone get along and maintain the peace.
Holiday gatherings are often filled with love and joy, but they can also be stressful, especially if heated topics are brought up around the table.
It's one of the best ways to get along with everyone and also to predict and prevent conflict is all about assessing people's conflict styles.
According to Dr. Jim Gwynn of Texas A&M University, it's important to know what triggers certain types of conflicts to prevent escalation. If you're hosting a larger Easter event at your home, you may encounter task conflict.
That is, you have a list of 17 things you need to do or feel like you need to do. And if someone or something is preventing that from happening, that's where that trigger immediately starts.
When it comes to dealing with task conflict,
These people that are task triggered, they want things done. We really want to get straight to the point with them.
Meanwhile, hosts who are a little picky about certain details might experience process conflict.
So you've got a process, you've got a way of dealing with stuff, you've got something that's set in stone that really works, and somebody comes in and changes it, disobeys it, mocks it. That's where that trigger starts to happen.
De-escalating these situations involves letting people feel more in control of what is going on around them. But if you've tried everything and arguments erupt, Dr. Gwynn explains this voice technique to help lower tensions.
As we start to lower our voice, we start to make really good eye contact, we start to nod along with them. And psychologically, people can't hold a higher tone of voice than you for more than 30 seconds if they feel connected to you.
Sean Langill reporting right there. A spellbinding stone. This isn't your ordinary diamond for sure. What gemologists say separates it from all others.
My goodness, it's a beauty. And here's a look at your winning Powerball numbers: 20, 23, 48, 59, and 66. The Powerball is 4. The Power Play is 2. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we are following today. Today, you have a chance to share your opinion about what's included in Wake County Schools' $2.28 billion school budget proposal. The board is hosting a public hearing. That meeting starts at 5:30 at the school district's headquarters in Cary. And Superintendent Robert Taylor is suggesting a budget increase, but also plans to cut $18 million, including some counselors.
A ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs could be coming to North Carolina government soon. And the agencies here, the State House of Representatives plans to vote on the Republican-backed ban later today. It's expected to pass the GOP-controlled chamber, but not without opposition from Democrats. Our NC Capitol team explains what is next for the legislation now on WRAL.com.
Today, the Wake County School Board will hear details of a report that says year-round school calendars are not improving test scores. Researchers will present their findings to the board today. The calendars help save money and reduce overcrowding in fast-growing areas, and the study recommends keeping year-round calendars in overcrowded areas.
An ancient animal's DNA has helped it return from extinction. Check it out. These 3 young dire wolves were born in October, named Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. The company behind the de-extinction project said it used gene editing to modify the traits of existing animals, taking DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull. The dire wolf had previously been extinct for more than 12,000 years.
Wow. And wow to this, too. Some of the rarest diamonds ever discovered are now on display in Abu Dhabi. Take a look at this 10.03 carat Mediterranean blue diamond is classified as fancy vivid blue, America's highest possible color grading for a blue diamond. Sotheby's auction house expects it to fetch about $20 million at an upcoming auction. The exhibition only includes 8 diamonds, but they have a combined total weight of over 700 carats.
These aren't just everyday diamonds. These are diamonds that really are one of a kind, but also represent some of the rarest natural treasures that exist.
Unbelievable. It was mined in South Africa as an impressive rough weighting 31.93 carats. Wow. The Mediterranean blue was fashioned as a cushion-modified brilliant cut diamond weighing 10.03 carats. This Mediterranean blue diamond is set to be auctioned in Geneva on May 13th. That'll weigh your hand down.
It reminds me a lot of your engagement ring when I look at your hand. Yeah, it really does. Our pet of the day comes to us from the Wake County Animal Center. This is Roger, an amazingly sweet 8-year-old lab retriever mix who deserves a peaceful and loving home to spend his senior years. Roger's always excited for walks, following his nose and taking him in the world around him. And in the play yard, he is surprisingly spry for his age, happily galloping around like a much younger dog. He's well-mannered and other calm dogs, good with other calm dogs, and seems nervous around dogs who want to play too physically. If you're looking for a sweet and loyal companion, Roger might be your perfect match. Contact Wake County Animal Center at the number on your screen.
Very cute. All right, leaving collection behind. The city of Raleigh could stop leaf collection. Coming up on WRAL News at 4, the reason behind the potential elimination.
And NBC News Daily is headed your way. Wait, should we stop the leaf collection? I was looking at that for just a quick second there. As one of our.
I like it. I think they should continue.
Yeah.
All right.
It's handy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air.